Milwaukee, the roof is closed, but we are high and dry inside Miller Park. A big crowd expected. A weekend series continues as the Brewers welcome in the reigning world champs, the Philadelphia Phillies. Philadelphia winning yesterday. Now the Brewers try to square this series, and they send up their left-hander, Manny Parra, back on the mound for the first time since September 8th against the reigning American League Cy Young Award winner, Cliff Lee, at Miller Park here tonight. And hi, everybody, and welcome from Miller Park. Great to have you with us. Good thing there's a roof on this ballpark because it is raining big time outside. I'm Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder and Rock. It's a matchup of a couple of lefties. One has the hardware in Cliff Lee. Another guy in Manny Parra trying to get to where Cliff Lee is, but certainly has the Cliff Lee kind of ability, one thinks.
Well, and it's nice to have Manny back out on the mound. I think the Brewers wanted to see if he was going to be able to get back out there before the end of the season, looking to get over the 500 mark. And, you know, as we mentioned, he hasn't pitched in a while. You figure his arm is going to feel good. That could be a good thing, but you wonder about his command. As long as he's been out, you wonder how well he's going to be able to hit the corners and keep the ball down tonight.
Well, we had a chance to visit with Manny yesterday. We asked him some of the mechanical adjustments he hopes to make tonight.
First of all, I'm going to work on gaining a consistent rhythm with my mechanics, my motion, about the timing of when my hands separate and stuff. And also, I'm going to try to work on staying closed longer. I feel like I fly open, and that's what causes me to have a hard time commanding the ball.
Well, I just wonder how many pitches Manny Parra will be able to go tonight. He hasn't pitched much in the month of September. Now, Cliff Lee, it was just 2 years ago he was sent to the minor leagues to work on his mechanics. He came back and won the Cy Young last year, and he has been a huge addition to this Phillies ball club.
To an already very good pitching staff, and Cliff Lee is a guy that just continues to pound the strike zone. There was a stretch of about 3 starts he was getting the baseball up, but you know, right now he's really ironing things out. 9 walks is all in 68 innings pitched. He's got 62 strikeouts. You can see what he's been able to do. Still good numbers with the Cleveland Indians, but off the charts here in Philadelphia.
And he is just 4 innings away from leading all of baseball in innings pitched this year. Right now, he's at 220 innings. That includes 6 complete games. The lefties are on display. Manny Parra, Cliff Lee, it's the Brewers and the Phillies, and it's coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Wisconsin is presented by Menards. Save big money at Menards. By Time Warner Cable, the power of you. And brought to you by AT&T, your world delivered. Friday night baseball here in Milwaukee, and the Crew takes to the field. Brewers and the Phillies. Matchup of the National League Division Series a season ago. Charlie Manuel and the Phillies, 89 and 63. Their magic number in the National League is now at 4. Guarantees them a playoff spot, but they have much bigger things in mind in Philadelphia. They are hoping for a division title and hoping for home field advantage, at least in the first round. Subway lineup for Charlie Manuel. It's Jimmy Rollins, Shane Victorino, and Chase Utley at the top of the order. Ryan Howard, Jason Worth, and Ben Francisco in the middle. Check Howard's numbers against lefties this year. And then Pedro Feliz, Paul Hoover, and Cliff Lee. Hoover is catching his first game as a Philly as he takes on the reigning Cy Young Award winner in the American League. The numbers for Manny Parra this year, Rock. He's making his 26th start, but really hasn't been on the mound but one inning since the 3rd of September.
Yeah, and that start was against the St. Louis Cardinals. Pitched into the 7th inning, only 5 hits, 2 runs. An outstanding performance by Manny Parra, looking to get that season record over 500 to finish the season.
Here's how the Brewers line up defensively behind Parra. It's Braun, Cameron, and Hart in the outfield. Very fast outfield with Casey McGee, Alcides Escobar, Felipe Lopez, and Prince Fielder around the horn. And a battery of Mike Rivera and Manny Parra. This was supposed to be the spot for Giovanni Gallardo. He's been shut down for the rest of the year. So Parra gets the call here tonight. Brian Knight will call the balls and strikes. 3-man crew on the bases with Hunter Wendelstedt, Dana DeMuth, and Doug Eddings. The crew chief is Dana DeMuth, so if there is need for a replay tonight on a boundary call, he'll be the one who calls for it. Ken Maka trying to get his club back to 500. They are 3 games under right now, 75 and 78. Meanwhile, the Phillies 16 games over 500 and a 7-game lead in the National League East. Jimmy Rollins leads it off, and we are underway at Miller Park. Philadelphia winning last night 9-4. Erupting on Jeff Suppan in the 5th inning, a 6-run inning for the Phillies, as Philadelphia trimmed their magic number to just 4 games. Brewers are trying to make sure the Phillies don't spray the champagne here at Miller Park for the 2nd consecutive year. Rollins homered last night. The switch hitter hit one as a lefty in the 5th inning last night. He capped off that 6-run inning. We'll see how Manny Parra fares against this heavy left-handed hitting Philly lineup tonight, partner.
Man, one thing that he was doing a pretty good job of before he hurt that neck was throw that changeup. Changeup, very good pitch for him after establishing the fastball in on right-handed batters. It's going to be a good news, maybe bad news scenario for Manny Parra. He feels as though with the layoff, his arm is feeling pretty strong, but you wonder how good of a command he's going to have with his pitches. It's a long layoff.
Parra missed a couple of starts with a neck injury, had spasms in the neck that sidelined him after his start on the 8th. He felt it against the Cardinals and pitched just 1 inning that day. So his last full start where he stretched out was September 3rd against St. Louis, when he went 6 1/3 and picked up the win.
And doing what he just did to Jimmy Rollins right there, pounding that fastball in on the hands, and then using that off-speed pitch to change up and the split-finger fastball away. This is a very tough lineup to get through.
Right off the end of the bat, Parra will make the play and an easy out. A long at bat. 8 pitches for Parra, but Rollins finally retired. Pitch count will be an issue tonight. We'll be keeping a close track on the number of pitches that Manny throws, because he has not pitched much in this month, and he has just a couple of starts remaining. Ken Maka and Chris Bosio will be very careful with his pitch count.
And they will be very happy with 5 full innings out of Manny Parra, depending on the pitch count, maybe more. Bullpen used a lot in last night's ball game, so Manny needs to give him at least 5.
Another switch hitter at the top of this order, Shane Victorino. Victorino's had a good season, native of Hawaii. 297 average, 10 home runs this year. He's driven in 58. He was a key performer for the Phillies during their postseason run last year. Certainly did some damage against the Brewers in that opening round, including a grand slam home run. Cliff Lee has his warm-ups in. He's ready to go. There's a shot. Escobar picks it up on a hop. And fielder needs to step on the base. There's the out.
Yeah, Victorino stopped running. Kind of hard to tell whether Escobar caught that ball in the air or not. But by his reaction, he seemed to feel as though he trapped it, but it looked like he got in the glove. That should be a line out to the shortstop. That was a catch.
Second base umpire Dana DeMuth had the palms down back there.
It's going to be a 6-3 put out.
So it just gets fielder involved. Another assist for Prince. Either way, it's out number 2. And here is Chase Utley. And this is the part of the order that Manny Parra has to be very careful with. A couple of left-handed hitters, Utley and Howard. And big numbers from both this year. Utley's a much better hitter against lefties than Howard. Chase Utley batting .297. And a third of his home runs have come against left-handed pitching this season.
The big three didn't do much last night. Of course, everybody else around him did. Utley, Howard, and Worth. Only 1 base hit. At the bottom of the order for Philadelphia. 6 through 8, outstanding work. Driving in most of the runs, a lot of base hits. Those are the guys you have to keep off the bases.
Bouncer right back to the mound. So a good clean inning for Manny Parra. 3 groundouts. And we head to the bottom of the first. The Brewers coming up against Cliff Lee. Phillies and the Brewers, game 2 of this 4-game series. And Manny Parra goes right through the Phillies order in the first. And now the Brewers ready to hit against Cliff Lee. Subway lineup for Macha. It's Felipe Lopez, Corey Hart, and Ryan Braun. Braun third in the National League against lefties this season. Fielder McGee and Cameron in the middle of the frame with Escobar, Rivera, and Manny Parra rounding it out.
And the Piggly Wiggly scatter report on Cliff Lee. Back on track. He had a rough stretch of 3 starts where he gave up 17 runs, but his last 2 very good. He's only given up 1 run. 9 walks, 62 strikeouts. That's 1 walk for every 6 strikeouts for Cliff Lee as a Philadelphia Philly. And Felipe Lopez, the only batter in the lineup for Ken Macha that's ever faced Cliff Lee.
The Brewers did see him briefly this spring, but it was his very first outing of spring training. It didn't go so well. but that hardly counts. Lee was just trying to work himself back into shape. That's a good start. Lopez rifles one into the gap. Worth cuts it off, but Lopez will roll into second with a leadoff double.
And one of the problems that Lee had in that stretch where he was getting hit around, everything up in the strike zone, wasn't able to locate very well. That pitch, pretty good pitch to hit for Lopez. Goes right with it. Now 2 for 5 lifetime against Cliff Lee. Hits it right where it's pitched.
So Lopez continues his hitting ways. Felipe had 2 hits last night. He was on base 3 times. And a double to start it in the first. Now it's Hart. Tries to advance him. Corey back in the 2-hole once again. Hart making consecutive starts against the left-handed starting pitching of the Phillies. If there's any knock against Philadelphia's rotation right now, and you have to take it with an asterisk, but you've got Jay Happ and Cliff Lee very similar in style and in execution. Above average stuff, granted, but back-to-back guys gives you a chance anyway to get some familiarity, I guess.
You're right, you are nitpicking. Those are 2 pretty good lefties, and they're both throwing pretty well.
And you just wonder if Charlie Manuel gets to the postseason.
Split them up.
Will he split them up? There's been some talk that Jay Happ might go to the bullpen. Charlie Manuel's bullpen is in a bit of trouble right now, and it is a bullpen by committee, according to the Phillies skipper.
They really only need 3 starters in the postseason, maybe 4 once in a while, but 3 will pretty much do it for you with all the off days throughout the postseason.
Hart bangs one into left. That'll be caught by Francisco, and it's out number 1. Meanwhile, Lopez still stands at second. Defensively for the Phillies, one of the better defensive clubs in the league. It's Francisco, Victorino, and Worth in the outfield. Feliz, Rollins, Utley, and Howard around the horn. With Paul Hoover in his Phillies debut today, catching Cliff Lee, the reigning American League Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah, Paul Bacco got a start yesterday. He got in the collision at home plate. He's all right. But you can see what Cliff Lee has done. As a Philadelphia Philly, doesn't get much better than that. In the ballpark that they play in Philly, only 4 home runs, 9 walks, 62 strikeouts in 68 innings.
And impressive. 6 of his last 7 games, he has not walked a batter. Braun rolls one out to Utley. Out number 2. Lopez advances on the ground out. And that sets up quite a matchup here between Cliff Lee and Prince Fielder. Well, Fielder is hot. Taco Bell, who's hot, as a matter of fact, his National League ranks tied with Ryan Howard in RBIs, 132. He's second in total bases. Already has a franchise record in RBIs and walks this year. And he is trying to play all 162 games, which no other big leaguer will accomplish this season. Prince might be the lone man standing, having played all 162 at the end of the year.
And that's the one thing you love about Prince. Not only does he put up the numbers, but has been able to stay healthy and has been able to get out on the field every single day.
Fielder lines one, center field, a base hit. Lopez will score, and right away you see the big difference between the big left-handed sluggers in Fielder and Howard.
Yeah, Ryan Howard a batting average against lefties under 200. Prince Fielder at 281. Not much of a difference offensively between those two. Identical home run numbers, identical RBI numbers. And you can see why Prince is so good against lefties. He's willing to take the ball back through the middle, recognizes the pitch away, particularly the slider, and able to bang it right back up the middle.
The Crew on top, 1-0. Fielder with 133 runs batted in. Back at the top of the Major League RBI list alone at this point. Casey McGee with 2 gone. And that one's off the end of the bat and down for a hit. Fielder on the move, takes a big bounce. Fielder on his way to third, and he'll hold up there. McGee with a double. Jason Worth has one of the better throwing arms in baseball, so Brad Fisher made a wise choice.
Yeah.
As McGee doubles to right.
Yeah, there's no way Prince is going to be able to score on that. You're right. Jason Worth has a gun out in right field. That ball got down in the corner. Prince might have been able to score, but it hit the area that juts out along the grandstands. In a play like that, second baseman has to continue to bust it out there and try to get out into short right. Brad Fisher, looking at it all the way, holds Prince at third. Good decision.
Applying some sizable breaks to stop at third base. McGee continues his hitting ways. Back-to-back hits with 2 outs. Second and third now for Mike Cameron. Cameron was 0 for 3 last night. On base once, he walked in the 6th inning last night, but a couple of strikeouts. Cameron, one of those rare hitters statistically that actually performs better against right-handed pitching, same side pitching, as opposed to lefties. Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah, well, sometimes right-handers just can't stay closed against lefties. Normal lefties, let's like to sink the ball off the corner. Cliff Lee, though, pretty straight fastball. He's not afraid to come inside like that. Pretty good pitch to hit. Cliff Lee tried to come inside, left it out over the plate. Have to take advantage of mistakes by this guy, particularly early in the game.
Three hits in the inning. 1 run is in. Second and third for the Crew. And Cameron takes a fastball a little bit high. Lee wanted that call. Cliff Lee went a stretch earlier this year of 39 consecutive innings without a walk.
An amazing control, and he throws all 4 pitches for strikes.
Cameron a little late on the fastball. Cameron with 21 home runs, our Powerball home run leaderboard. See Prince Fielder with 42. He's third in the National League. Albert Pujols, Mark Reynolds, and then Fielder's tied with Ryan Howard. And Braun still looking for that elusive 30th home run of the season. That one's well hit. Cameron deep to left. Goodbye. Mike Cameron, a 3-run home run. And the Brewers are banging away here in the first inning against Cliff Lee.
Now cut fastball that stayed out over the plate, and Mike Cameron able to keep the hands in and keep it fair. He hit it a ton to left field on a cut fastball that stayed up in the zone.
Cameron had a 2-homer game last Monday and delivers a 3-run shot here in this first inning. Matter of fact, Cameron's last 3 hits have been home runs. Number 22 for Cameron. 67 runs batted in now.
Yeah, Lee put one right in his wheelhouse. Middle in, up in the zone. And Mike Cameron able to keep it fair. A lot of guys hooked that one foul. A 4 spot in the first.
Against Cliff Lee. Who saw that coming? Escobar, a swing and a miss. Lee strikes out the Brewers shortstop, but the Brewers go bang in the first. Fielder with an RBI. Cameron with a 3-run bomb, and it's 4-0 Brewers.
And catch all the action of the 2009 Major League Baseball postseason on Fox and TBS. The excitement begins on October 7th with the Division Series on TBS.
And right now, if the season ended today, it would be the Rockies and the Phillies, and the Dodgers and the Cardinals matching up in the National League. Mike Cameron, a 3-run home run. The Brewers have a 4-0 lead on Cliff Lee and the Phillies. Manny Parra, 3 groundouts in the first inning. And he'll face Ryan Howard to start it. Howard sends one high in the air to center. Playable for Cameron. And 1 pitch and 1 out for Manny Parra. We had a chance to catch up with Manny yesterday, and we asked him his thoughts about his roller coaster season this year.
This season at times is a season to forget, and then there's times where I've had some good outings and things to build on. So try to go home and evaluate those things and figure out what I want to do and how I'm going to work on those things as far as command goes, and try to develop some consistency right from the start when I start throwing this off season. So that's going to be my focus this off season, is just be consistent with some things and work on them and get better.
And what he's talking about, consistency with release point, that's one thing that he and Chris Bosio seem to talk about all the time. A couple of different things, a couple of buzzwords that Bosio gives him each and every time out there, but a tremendous arm. He just needs to find that consistency.
Well, with his kind of stuff, if he does find that release point and that consistency and some of the mechanical issues he's trying to tweak, and it's hardly noticeable to the naked eye or the amateur eye, but with his stuff, you could see him instantly turning into one of the game's premier left-handers. I mean, you take Cliff Lee, for example. Just 2 years ago, Lee was sent down to the minor leagues, AA, AAA, made 10 starts in the minor leagues with the Indians to try to work out a bunch of flaws he had. He was not having success in the big leagues. Just 1 year after that, he won the Cy Young Award. As Parra punches out Jason Worth. Lee came up and had some early success in his career and then was sent to the minor leagues. You see where they stand through 56 starts. That's where Manny Parra is right now, but similar numbers between the two, remembering that Cliff Lee pitched in the American League at that time.
And the one thing Cliff Lee has learned to do is throw strikes, get ahead in the count, and that's an important thing for any pitcher. And Manny Parra trying to learn that. And he knows what he has to do. It's just a matter of going out there and pounding the strike zone with that good fastball. 92 to 94 with a fastball. 2 very good off-speed pitches.
Well, you think about Cliff Lee and how good he has been the last couple of seasons. It was big news in '07. Remember when the Indians went to the postseason and Lee was not on their postseason roster. Hard to believe. He's looking forward to his first chance at pitching in the playoffs, as Parra just rifles through the order. Howard, Worth, and Francisco gone in order with a couple of strikeouts. 6 up, 6 down for Manny.
champions. And before tonight's game, Ken Maka took a minute to give bench coach Willie Randolph kudos for being so good with so many young players. First off, with Alcides Escobar, he said he's really taking them on as a project, and he's also proud of the fact that he's been able to help out Prince Fielder and Ricky Weeks in the field as well. He says he hopes he's enjoying himself because he understands his name will come up every single time there is a vacant manager position open. And he said he went through the same thing with Terry Francona after he was the manager with the Phillies and before he became the manager of the Boston Red Sox. And he said he understands when you're a manager and when you become a coach, then you have that burning desire to become a manager again. So he really wanted to praise Willie Randolph for his efforts this year, guys.
All right, Sally, thanks a lot. He's right. Willie's done a great job with the defense, and that's just part of what Ken Maka expected from his coaching staff. You have a couple of guys who interviewed for a big league managerial job last year, Willie Randolph and Dale Swaim, and you figure both of those guys will get a chance to manage in the big leagues at some point again.
And I think two of the biggest influences and positive seasons that have come of Willie Randolph's tutelage in the infield, Prince Fielder certainly has made exponential improvement from last year over at first base. And before he got hurt, Ricky Weeks was tremendous defensively at second base. So a lot of credit has to be thrown in that man's direction, Willie Randolph.
Spent nearly 2 decades in the big leagues as a second baseman. Rivera with a base hit. Parra's up there to bunt him over. Randolph, a former Brewer, as a matter of fact, in the early 90s. And always enjoyed his time here in Milwaukee. We're certainly looking forward to coming back and not having 20 cameras in his face every day. I think that's been the most enjoyable part of the season for Randolph. Willie Randolph still in the franchise record books for single season on base percentage. He's second. Back in 1991, his on base percentage was .424. Paul Molitor is the franchise record holder. But he just says, play defense like me and get on base like me, you'll be fine.
Yeah, nothing to it, right?
And then you can count all 9 of his World Series rings if you like.
Willie Randolph, a tough out. I remember facing Willie Randolph. He'd shoot the ball away on the plate to right field and pull everything inside, and had a tremendous eye at the plate.
Rivera to second on the sacrifice bunt by Parra. And that leads us to our carsoup.com email the booth question tonight. Katie in West Dallas wants to know who was the best trade deadline acquisition by a team this year. There's a few of them out there. Matt Holliday comes to mind, but you have to put Cliff Lee in that category. Unfortunately, we don't get to see Victor Martinez in the American League. He's done big things with Boston, and Adam LaRoche has found his stroke again, returning to the Atlanta Braves.
Yep, a comfort zone for Adam LaRoche, but I think Matt Holliday, certainly in my mind, the biggest acquisition of any team in baseball. It turned the St. Louis Cardinals into a powerhouse offensive club, and before him being brought over, I mean, they were average at best. If you pitched around Albert Pujols, you can get through that lineup, but not now, not anymore.
Back to the top of the order, Lopez with one away and Rivera at second. Lopez doubled in the first. Started a 4-run inning for the Brewers. RBIs from Fielder and then a 3-run homer from Cameron. And all 4 runs driven in with 2 outs. Rivera has below average speed. Not a sure thing he'll score on a base hit. Cliff Lee had to exit his last start on Sunday after just 4 innings. Pitching against the Braves at Turner Field. A rain delay got him as he strikes out Lopez for out number 2. Well, Saturday afternoons were made for baseball. We know that. And this week Fox brings you the national game of the week. It'll be the Red Sox and the Yankees, or the Cubs and the Giants. Fox Saturday Baseball this week, 3 Central, only on Fox. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area. Giants still hanging around. Rockies lost last night, but the Giants lost as well. San Francisco had a lead going into the 9th inning, and a former Rocky, Jeff Baker, homered against Brian Wilson, and the Cubs beat the Giants. So San Francisco still 4 games back in that wild card race. Hart pops it up. Utley's got it, and the inning is over. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Blaine Farm and Fleet. You'll always find value at your local Farm and Fleet. By Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig and sing. And by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin. You know, they say imitation is the highest form of flattery. Imposters in the Harley-Davidson deck.
Good ones, though.
Good try. They look very good. The nose works. Chorizo could use a bigger hat. Other than that, we're in good shape. Parra back on the mound. He starts his 3rd inning. He's retired the first 6 and has a couple of strikeouts. Facing the bottom of the order, Pedro Feliz, Paul Hoover, and Cliff Lee. Feliz a .266 hitter. A lot of production from the bottom of the order. 72 runs batted in, and it was the bottom of the order yesterday that did a lot of damage. Into deep left. Braun near the wall makes a catch. And 1 gone. More Manny Parra sound. We talked to him yesterday about his expectations for himself and his ball club. Here's what he had to say.
I evaluate myself in a pretty realistic way, and at the same time, there's still no reason why I look at myself compared to some of these other guys in this league that are having a lot of success. The biggest difference is just commanding the fastball. I think once I'm able to command my fastball better, I should be one of the better pitchers in the league, and that's what I expect of myself.
Well, and you love to hear that kind of thing, because you got to have confidence in your abilities. If you doubt yourself, you might as well hang it up. And you like to hear those kind of things from Manny Parra.
Parra has a very good fastball. Everything else peels off from that fastball, velocity-wise. And if he commands it, for instance, like Cliff Lee in his couple of seasons, where he's able to throw it on the inside corner and get strikes with it, that changes everything for Manny Parra. And some of his best games, he's been able to use the fastball effectively.
Man, you have to throw that fastball. When you come in, you got to throw it for strikes, because if you just continue to pound it in off the plate like that pitch right there, hitters won't really give it much attention, and they'll still lean out over the plate. So it's relatively ineffective if you don't throw it for strikes in there.
Paul Hoover, the batter for the Phillies. Phillies have catching issues right now. Their starter, Carlos Ruiz, who is a key contributor for the Philadelphia Phillies, is injured right now. He's got a wrist injury. Took an injection to that wrist earlier this week, and he is expected back next week, which will give him a week's worth of games before the postseason.
That's a big loss for Philadelphia. I mean, that's their guy behind home plate that most of the year has been able to, get this pitching staff through games.
Hoover down on strikes. Third strikeout for Parra.
Yeah, but because the Phillies have a nice comfortable lead, they're going to give Ruiz a couple of extra days. And a good split-fingered fastball by Manny Parra to get the third string Philly catcher. It's usually about a 3-day lag time between the day of the shot and when you can get back there and play. But they're going to give him some extra time.
No sense in rushing back with an injury to the wrist, especially with a bat in his hand. So Carlos Ruiz confident he can come back. No surgery will be required. In the meantime, the catching duties will be shared by Paul Bacco and Paul Hoover.
Bacco had a nice game last night.
He did. He made a lot of contributions in that Philly win. He had 2 hits and an RBI. Held on to the baseball on a mighty collision at home plate, which could have been a game changer.
And called a pretty good game behind home plate. He's a veteran. I mean, he knows how to get it done. I mean, a backup catcher, you don't last as long as Bacco has without being able to do the right things.
1-2 to Cliff Lee. And Parra strikes him out. A fastball. Manny has retired 9 in a row. 4 strikeouts. And we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Braun, Fielder, and McGee due up. Brewers lead 4-0. Bucks for a preview practice party Saturday, October 3rd. Tailgating starts at 11:30 on the Bradley Center Plaza with live entertainment, games, value price foods and beverages. And then you can head into the Bradley Center as Coach Scott Skiles runs a full team workout. Admission is free. Visit Bucks.com for details. Well, the Cleveland Indians, they've had 3 Cy Young Award winners in their history. And they've had back-to-back Cy Young Award winners. and they've traded them both. Sabathia to the Brewers last year, Cliff Lee to the Phillies this season. The difference between these two, Cliff Lee still has another year of arbitration left on his contract before he's a free agent. A lot of production, not pitching at Jacobs Field anymore, or Progressive Field in Cleveland.
It's all about, financial constraints for teams like the Cleveland Indians. You know, they'd love to be able to keep those two guys, but just don't have the money to pay them.
For those two players, the Cleveland Indians got 8 minor league players out of it. 4 last year with Sabathia and 4 this year from the Phillies. And only time will tell on whether the trade was a smart one for Cleveland. Obviously with Sabathia, they weren't going to sign him anyway. And they picked up a couple of good prospects from the Brewers. Matt Laporta was at the top of that list. He got a little big league time this year.
That progress a little bit slow for Matt Laporta. I think baseball thought he would be in the big leagues by now on a regular basis. Hey fans, visit the official online shop of the Brewers at Brewers.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including caps, t-shirts, jerseys, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the Brewers.com shop.
MVP signs for Prince Fielder. He'll get plenty of votes, you would imagine. How many first place votes he'll get is up for grabs, however. Albert Pujols having an amazing year in St. Louis. Fielder jammed on a lead fastball, and Howard will take it to the bag. Winning an MVP in the Albert Pujols era is like winning an MVP in the NBA when Michael Jordan was around, because Pujols is going to continue to put up the big numbers, and a perennial MVP candidate.
Seems like it's always a fight for second place, right?
Pujols won it last year. He's making a bid for his 3rd most valuable player award. Here's Casey McGee with 2 away. With all the big numbers from Prince Fielder and Albert Pujols and Ryan Howard and Derek Lee and Chicago, it's been Casey McGee who has had the most RBIs in the month of September. 23 ribbies this month, 63 for the season.
And certainly making a case for Rookie of the Year. And I think it's about time that everybody takes a look at the numbers for Casey. Regardless of whether he was a highly touted prospect or not, that shouldn't come into play. But sometimes it does. Who would have thought in spring training that he would have 101 hits in September? Not me. I talked to Casey about that today. He said, yeah, I would have bet the farm it wouldn't have 100 hits this year.
Well, it was 50-50 whether he was going to be in a major league uniform to start the year. He's been quite a story and fun to follow, and not just on the field either. Casey's son Mac has cerebral palsy, and he has become quite the star here in Milwaukee. One of the great moments of the season occurred with young Mac McGee and Casey McGee. Mac threw out the first pitch. Casey hit a grand slam that day. The pinch hit home run that day. And it was quite a story all through baseball with Casey McGee.
He's quite the little entertainer, isn't he, Mac? He can capture a crowd. There he is. Casey's wife, Sarah. There's Mac.
Working on both hands. He knows every player, and as they walk by, he announces their names. 2-2 to McGee. You know what he says when Bob Uecker walks by?
What's that?
Real nice.
Oh, boy.
Euchre walked by him the other day in Chicago, and he goes, "Nice, real nice."
He's something.
Yeah. A season they will never forget, the McGee family. Lee strikes him out. Inside fastball. And the inning is over. So Casey is gone. Cliff Lee a 1-2-3 inning. Back-to-back scoreless innings. You might remember it. Pinch hit home run for Casey McGee earlier this year. His son Mac threw out the first pitch.
Early, top of the first, he picks up his 133rd RBI to reclaim sole possession of the major league lead in that department and give the Brewers a 1-0 lead. And Mike Cameron would get 3 more on the board with one swing of the bat. His 3-run homer, his 22nd of the year. And Manny Parra clean through 3, retiring all 9 hitters he has faced so far. And guys, everyone was wondering before tonight's game, what effect will the 17-day layoff have on Manny Parra? Well, the early prognosis is very good because he seems to be very sharp.
Well, you felt his arm would be strong. You'd certainly feel that he has the power, as that one gets under the glove of Casey McGee. Jimmy Rollins thinking about second. He's on his way, and he'll end up at second base. We'll see how they score that. Should be an error on McGee, you would think.
Yeah, it looked like he had a pretty good read on it. The ball just off the glove and down the line and left, and it was an error in the infield last night to open the door for that big inning for Philadelphia. They just can't do that. Can't give these guys extra outs. It was a 6-run 5th inning and a big error in the middle of it all. Can't help these guys.
That'll be an error on McGee. E5, 2-base error as Rollins is now in scoring position. Second time through the order for Manny Parra. Parra had retired 9 straight before the error with 4 strikeouts. Two switch hitters at the top of the order. You got the big power in the middle of the order. The Phillies are well balanced in their lineup. They have a lot of speed in their lineup. They've belted 214 home runs this year, the best in baseball or in the National League. And they are close to a franchise record for home runs this season. Power and speed and a lot of balance and depth with their position players.
And the one thing you have to do is you got to give them 27 outs. And once again, back-to-back nights, that inside corner closed. Looked like the same pitch that Casey McGee got rung up on. Bottom of the third inning.
You talk to those who cover the Phillies. One of the areas of concern, a little bit for Charlie Manuel, you have to take it for what it's worth with a team that's 7 games up, is executing in spots like this. Victorino draws the walk.
Yeah, first time tonight that Manny's worked out of the stretch. A little bit of an adjustment for him.
Manuel would like to see his team advance runners. Better situational hitting. Aflac trivia tonight. Who are the 6 reigning Cy Young winners traded the following season? Wow, if you get this one right, you have earned your Baseball 101 stripes.
Need to get out more, too.
6 reigning. I'll give you 2. CC Sabathia and Cliff Lee.
Yeah, we just covered those 2.
Put you on the hook for 4 more.
Yeah. That's a good one.
The Cy Young Award began in 1956. From 56 to 66, it was in both leagues, or excuse me, just one award for both leagues. And then it split into the American and the National. Some interesting names on that list.
Oh, you know the list?
I've been privy to the list. Parr in a tough spot here. An error and a walk. 2 on, nobody out. Utley at the plate with Ryan Howard on deck. Oh, Fielder's got it, and he'll take the sure out at first base. Saved a run right there. Prince Fielder showing the good hands.
You know, that's what separates him from Ryan Howard when you talk about who is the better of the 2 at first base and production. Prince Fielder, incredible work at first base this year. Everybody talks about his offense, but plays like this, he didn't make last year. And I think Willie Randolph, a big reason for it.
Our Mercedes-Benz E-Class attention assist of the game. Fielder saves a run. The Phillies advance to second and third. And here is Ryan Howard, and it gives the Brewers a chance to pitch around Howard. And Manny throws him a breaking ball to start it. See if he'll chase.
Looked like more of a slider than a curveball. It's kind of a cross between a splitter and a curve, a slurve. That's a pitch that if you put in that location, Ryan Howard struggles with against lefties. Has a tough time laying off.
There's a breaking ball that bounces into right field. Rollins scores. Victorino will score. Left that one up in the strike zone. Howard hit it hard. And 2 runs are in for Philadelphia.
Yeah, what a difference a pitch makes, right? I mean, perfect location down and away. That last one hung right down the middle of the plate. And could very well be the first hit of the ball game for Philadelphia. No decision made yet on it. I think Prince will tell you he should have had it. A 1 hopper. Probably going to be a hit.
Two runs are in, and here's Jason Worth. Parra gets ahead of him. An error to start this inning as Worth chases one. 0-2 the count. We're going to call that an error.
Tough error. A 1 hopper got by Prince.
So Philadelphia still without a hit. 2 errors in the inning. 4-2 Brewers as Worth takes a ball. 1-2 the count.
Well, the error cost Ryan Howard an RBI. He gets 1 RBI out of it. Man at second and third and 1 out. Run would have scored from third, but would not have scored from second. So only 1 ribby.
Parra strikes out Jason Worth. That is number 5 for Manny Parra.
That's a good pitch right on the outside corner. He's got good command of that fastball tonight. Good job of catching it, reaching it out, and getting that glove as close to home plate as he could was Mike Rivera, making it look good for the home plate umpire.
Ben Francisco with 2 away. Parra struck him out looking in the second. Francisco starting for the second straight day for Raul Ibanez, who's out with an illness right now. Escobar, a nice easy hop. Lopez is there for him, and Parra is through the 4th. The Phillies still without a hit, but 2 errors lead to 2 runs.
Have helped make him the Brewers nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award. Suppan donates $100 for every strikeout to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund, an organization that helps children and families of United States soldiers killed in the line of duty. He helped create the Soup Troop seats at Miller Park, 4 camouflage seats, which are donated every game to active members of the military. Jeff's financial support also includes the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight Program, where World War II veterans are given an opportunity to fly to Washington, D.C. to see their memorial. And Jeff Suppan, very active when it comes to military family members, guys.
All right, Telly, thank you. As Mike Cameron flies out to start this 4th inning. And Cliff Lee has settled in now after giving up 4 runs in the 1st inning.
Now Manny Parra still has not given up a hit, and good point made in the booth here between innings. It's the old first hit of the game, perhaps, decision by Tim O'Driscoll, the official score. Manny Parra has held the Phillies hitless. You'd hate that to be the only hit of the ball game. You really would. And that's a good decision. You can always go back and give that a hit later on.
That is a hot seat, the official score seat. It's not an easy job, but there is that unwritten rule that the first hit of a game should be a clean hit. Otherwise, you go as such. And if it was that case in Pittsburgh, you wouldn't have caught the only no-hitter in Brewers history.
That's right, the old CC Sabathia rule. Yeah. Now again, I mean, you give that a base hit, and that's the only hit of the ball game. It's impossible to reverse a hit and give it an error, and then guy ends up with a no-hitter. Can't do that. We can always go the other way, and that's a good call by Tim O'Driscoll. We'll see what happens. One thing it did do, it cost Ryan Howard an RBI.
Which won't make Brewers fans upset either. Howard did have one run batted in, so he and Fielder still tied atop the major league lead in RBIs, 133 apiece. 3 balls and a strike on Escobar, and Escobar sends one to right. Worth is there. 2 gone in the 4th. Aflac trivia tonight. We're talking Cy Young Award winners. There were 6 that were traded the following season after their Cy Young Award. You know about Cliff Lee and CC Sabathia, the last 2. You got Roger Clemens, Pedro Martinez, David Cone, and Frank Viola. So 2 of the 6 in the history of the game wearing Phillies uniforms.
You see a trend there? All small market teams go into big market teams. That's no surprise.
Well, Viola back in 1988, the first Cy Young Award winner to be traded the following season. He went to the Mets. Sweet music. David Cone from the Royals to the Blue Jays. Pedro still pitching. Sort of. Pedro was supposed to start tomorrow, but he's been scratched from that start. It's going to be Kyle Kendrick instead for Philadelphia. So no Pedro Martinez for the Phillies. Tweaked his neck a little bit in his last start.
Yeah, all small market teams, the big market teams, except of course CC Sabathia to the Brewers. 5 out of 6.
A big market kind of move.
Yeah.
For Doug Melvin and the Brewers last year. That was a bombshell trade, and that is the trade of Doug Melvin's career. He's had a number of big trades, but nothing like that one. And as good as Sabathia was, it was well worth every prospect. Sending the Brewers to the postseason for the first time in 26 years.
That's a trade that I think Doug Melvin would make every time. I mean, and again, Matt Laporta has not found his way to the major leagues yet on a consistent basis.
Rivera, a little slow roller. Feliz has a lot of time, but Rivera beats it out. An infield hit from Mike Rivera.
And nobody more surprised at that than Rivera himself. A slow roller. He had Pedro Feliz behind third base. He even bobbled the baseball. A little bit of a double clutch, just couldn't find the handle, and the fleet of foot Mike Rivera able to beat it at first base.
There's plenty of will in that stride. Infield hit for Rivera, his second hit against Cliff Lee tonight. Well, if nothing else, it clears the pitcher spot. And it breaks a run of 8 straight retired by the Philly left-hander.
I bet you can count on one hand the number of hits like that Rivera's had in his career.
We've got the research and development department all over it. Might take a while, but R&D is hard at work.
We got 2 of them today. That David Lizotte back from the minor leagues. He's my stats guy. You've had yours all year, Mike Faulkner.
That's right. And I'll be passing along anything that I don't deem usable. And I'd appreciate the same courtesy.
No, you get nothing.
Mike Faulkner, the coach.
And no usable stat gets by you.
That's a joke, of course. Every stat from Mike Faulkner is usable. Mike didn't look like he was digging too hard for that infield hit stat, though. I got to be honest with you. 1-2 to Parra. They'll ask if he went. Able to check his swing, says Doug Eddings. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Parra giving up 2 unearned runs in the 4th. Had a good hack. Parra sends one to center. Victorino well positioned, and the inning is over. Rivera, an infield hit. The Brewers come up empty in the 4th. It's 4-2 Milwaukee. America's #1 pregame show at 11 a.m. Central. And our U.S. Cellular text to vote question this week. You can text your answer to 234-234. Which feat do you think is more impressive? Text W for Ryan Braun, becoming just the 6th player in the history of the game with 100 homers in his first 3 years. Or you can text X for Prince Fielder setting franchise records in RBIs and walks in the same season. Text your answer to 234-234, W or X, and Prince Fielder might add a 3rd to that list. In games played, he would tie a franchise record if he could stay healthy and play in all 162.
And 3 more runs scored. He has 100. 97 runs scored for Prince. Incredible year.
Tonight, game 154 of the 162 game schedule. And the final 3 home games at Miller Park in 2009. Escobar on a short hop. Good play, 1 pitch, 1 out, as Feliz is retired.
Hey, Ryan Braun and Northwestern Mutual invite you to drop off new or gently used coats tomorrow through Sunday during the Brewers Drive for Charity. Get a Ryan Braun pin with every donation. For complete details, call 414-902-4000.
Well, a scoring change has come down. Ryan Howard will be given credit for a hit and 2 RBIs. So the no-hitter is lost. Upon further review, Tim O'Driscoll changes the error.
Not so much for our CC Sabathia rule.
It hung in there for a little while. Could have gone either way. I'll tell you one guy who's probably not too disappointed about it. Brewers manager Ken Maka. Because Manny Parra is on a pretty strict pitch count here tonight. He hasn't pitched all that much in the month of September. But a no-hitter's a no-hitter, right?
You think Ken Maka would have a problem with a complete game?
There's a base hit by Hoover. I think Ken Maka would have a problem worrying about keeping a pitcher out there with a no-hitter with 100 pitches when he maybe was supposed to go 70.
Oh, problems that the managers have. There's a clean base hit. Don't have to worry about it anymore. Haven't been too many complete games this year. As we talked about, Manny Parr with the pitch count right now, 56 pitches. You hope that he's going to be able to eat up some innings, and well on his way to do that.
Now Parra's last official start, the one where he pitched more than one inning. I guess his last start was an official start, but he only lasted the one inning after the neck injury. He went 88 pitches in 6 1/3 in St. Louis. That was way back on the 3rd of September. Remember Zambrano last year with the Cubs? He threw the no-hitter here at Miller Park against Houston. Zambrano was never the same last year. He struggled the last month of the season and then into the postseason. He was coming back from injury at the time. Lou Piniella making a comment after the season was over. He was kind of rooting for a base hit so he could remove him from the game. Of course, Zambrano has a no-hitter on his record now. Parra strikes out lead.
And really wasn't the same after that.
Cubs are in the news today. Again, sort of. Kevin Towers spoke up. The San Diego Padres general manager said he has not been contacted by Jim Hendry, the Cubs GM, but Towers, in a report, said he would be willing to consider a trade for Milton Bradley. So perhaps Milton Bradley has played his last game as a Cub. You got to think there'll be a couple of teams interested.
I don't think there's really any choice. I mean, to pawn off Milton Bradley. I mean, how can you expect Milton Bradley to go back to Wrigley Field after all the things he said about the fans, the organization, the city, you name it? Can't come back and play there.
Only if he plans on hitting a bunch of home runs and driving in a lot of runs.
Or if the Cubs are more willing to provide a stable environment for him.
Stability only comes from the organization, right?
Right. It's not the player's responsibility at all.
Not at all.
Joking, of course.
How did you find your environment when you were a player? Stable?
In the big leagues? Tremendous. I had no complaints about my environment. Awesome. Every day.
3-2 to Rollins.
Of course, I didn't have a guaranteed $30 million contract. Maybe then I might have had some things to complain about.
Kind of like now. Runner takes off. Rollins out to short. Escobar winds it up, throws him out. Manny, a scoreless 5th inning. 4-2 Brewers. Top of the order coming up. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered.
And tonight's Tavern of the Game winner is Eddie's in De Pere, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, Eddie's gets 40 tickets to an April or May 2010 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and our good friends at Miller Lite.
There's some Tavern of the Game winners up there in the beer pen tonight. Doing it as only Brewers fans know how. Those giant hands. Big mugs. Big koozies. Top of the order for the Brewers here. Felipe Lopez, Corey Hart, and Ryan Braun. 4-2 Milwaukee. Parra has given up 2 hits now, and of the 2 runs that scored in the 4th, one of them he has earned. Lopez pulls one foul, and it's 0-2. Manny with 6 strikeouts through the first 5 innings.
Yeah, Brewers did a nice job capitalizing on some wildness from Cliff Lee. Not wild balls and strikes wild, but wild in the zone. And since that first inning, he's settled down nicely. And Manny Parra has been outstanding tonight.
Lee strikes out Lopez. 4th strikeout for Cliff Lee. Just a reminder, tickets for Brewers On Deck 2010 are now on sale. Set to take place Sunday, January 31st at the Midwest Airlines Center. Brewers On Deck is the Winter Fan Festival that will help bridge the gap between the Wisconsin winter and spring training. Tickets can be purchased at the Miller Park ticket office. You can also call 414-902-4100 or visit brewers.com. Always a lot of fun, the On Deck event. And a great venue, Convention Center. And you wonder who the Brewers will unveil at the On Deck event in 2010. Last year it was Trevor Hoffman. Maybe Trevor can do it again just for old time's sake.
Yeah, be nice to hear Hell's Bells again.
Hard drilled by a pitch.
I'm not sure what that was all about. Corey Hart gave him an evil stare after he got hit. Came in on him the first pitch and then drilled him in the thigh. Second pitch. Watch the reaction of Corey Hart. What is that?
Well, last night Hart crashed into Paul Bacco. It was a good, clean, honest play. Even Bacco said as much.
Come on now.
Maybe just a fastball got away from him.
You think 2 in a row? For a guy that's got 9 walks?
All year.
Yeah. That was a good hard play. I mean, that was a good hard baseball play at home plate. I mean, there's no reason to have any retaliation for that. But it's the only time that Corey has been up when the man hasn't been in scoring position. Came up, nobody on this time. I mean, if you can't knock a catcher over these days, what can you do?
Ryan Braun into the left, sinking fast. That's down, a hit. And the Brewers have a little something started here. Hard hit by a pitch. Braun with a single to left.
You can understand if Corey Hart went in and gave him a forearm shiver to the nose, but he didn't do that. Good clean play, good hard baseball. Can't imagine that they would hit him for that.
Well, Hart now in scoring position. Brewers have 7 hits against Cliff Lee tonight. Here's Prince. Fielder drove in the first run with a 2-out RBI single in the first inning. And then Cameron hit a 3-run homer. Two big sluggers that use the entire field. If you count center field as an opposite field hit, which a lot of hitting coaches do. Look at those numbers.
Yeah.
Just about right on the money.
Yeah, their numbers are very eerily similar across the board.
Fielder sends that one deep to right. Does it have enough? Worth is back at the wall. This one is going to fly out of here. Prince Fielder. A 3-run home run.
Now the big fella hits lefties just fine, thank you. That's 4 RBIs tonight for Prince. Cliff Lee getting that fastball right down the middle of the plate, and Prince with the high finish. Number 43 on the year. 3 more RBIs. And continues to pound the baseball against left-handed pitchers.
Lee's second 3-run home run of the game. As McGee pops this one up, playable for Howard, and it's out number 2. Think about this. Cliff Lee has surrendered 6 home runs all season. 3 of those came in one start against the Atlanta Braves. That was back on August 29th, with his worst start as a Philly. 2 of them have come tonight, and that one looked like an out when it left the bat, but the roof is closed, and that had plenty on it to get out of here.
Yeah, typical Prince Fielder home run. A high fly ball that just never seems to come down until it's out of the ballpark.
A towering, majestic home run for Fielder.
And so if in fact Cliff Lee was paying Corey Hart back, he paid for it himself. I still can't believe that that's what that was all about.
7-2 Milwaukee.
136 RBIs for Prince. What a season.
That's 4 tonight.
It's almost won a game.
With every RBI, Fielder adds to his Brewers franchise record. Well, Mike Cameron was the first Brewer to homer. Belted a 3-run homer, the first Powerball home run. Number 22 for Mike Cameron. So 2 3-run homers against Lee as he strikes out Cameron. Inning is over, but the Brewers do damage once again. Fielder with his second hit. He has 4 RBIs as he belts his 43rd home run of the season.
is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery and its family of instant scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. By Airtran. Go, there's nothing stopping you. And by Aflac. We've got you under our wing.
Manny Parra back on the mound and now pitching with a 7-2 lead as Prince Fielder pops his 43rd home run of the year, a 3-run homer against Cliff Lee in the 5th inning. And the second 3-run homer of the ballgame for the Brewers.
Yeah, Prince Fielder now with 13 home runs against left-handed pitching and a .288 batting average. That's a big difference between he and Ryan Howard. Howard with a batting average against lefties under 200.
Parra still going strong. Pitch count still below 70 at this point. That was number 68 as Hart fights the lights and makes the play. Victorino is retired.
Man, just piggybacking off the Brewers Live segment where we were comparing Ryan Howard and Prince Fielder. Of course, we know who we feel as though is the best. Who you'd rather have, the big fella. Of course, Ryan Howard has the hardware, Rookie of the Year and an MVP award, had 58 home runs one year.
Howard won the Rookie of the Year in 05, which was Fielder's first taste of the big leagues. Fielder was just up briefly in 05, mostly during interleague play, and then a September call-up that year. Howard won the Rookie of the Year in 05. He won the MVP in 06.
Tough to compare the two, or tough to try and pick one over the other. They're both that good.
Well, in Philadelphia they have their guy, and in Milwaukee they certainly have theirs. Fielder, an extraordinary season. One thing Fielder would like to do that Howard has already done is play in all 162 games. Howard did that last year.
And both of them have been relatively injury free. Ryan Howard was on the disabled list once. That was back in 07. And I hate to jinx him, but Prince has not been on the DL. I'm knocking on wood as we say that.
Did you say something wrong?
No.
Two and two to Utley. Got him. Parra strikes it out. Took a little off, and Utley will take a seat. Number 7 for Manny Parra.
Right, tremendous command. I mean, we were talking on our open tonight. You know, his arm's going to feel strong, but how about the command? He's going to be able to find the corners and keep it down in the strike zone, and he has.
So Parra with 7 punch outs, 2 outs here in the 6th. And here is Ryan Howard. Finished second in the MVP voting last year to Pujols. Howard 48 home runs a year ago, 146 driven in. Howard has led the league in RBIs 2 of his last 4 years, and he has a chance to do it this year. Good fastball. Parra reaching back for a little extra. And it's 1-2 on Ryan Howard.
And it continues to have that good velocity. 93 on that last one.
Down he goes. Manny Parra rolling right along here at Miller Park. 8 punch outs.
The Brewers, Mike Cameron, number 22 in the first, giving the Brewers a 4-0 lead. And then Prince Fielder, a mammoth shot, a high, majestic drive into right field, a 3-run home run. So a couple of 3-run homers has the Brewers out in front of Cliff Lee and the Philadelphia Phillies 7-2. And Manny Parra outstanding tonight, 6 innings so far, 1 walk and 8 strikeouts after not really having pitched since September 3rd.
Parra's only given up 2 hits. And of the 2 runs, 1 is earned as Escobar gets into the act. His first hit of the game. And now the Brewers with 9 hits against Cliff Lee. Lee has given up 7 earned runs, which ties a season high. It's the 3rd time he's done it. The first time he's given up this many runs as a Philly.
And he's had 4 starts with the Phillies where he's given up a ton of runs. Had those back-to-back starts before this one where he was throwing pretty well, but you know the Brewers land a 7 spot on him in 5+ innings.
Lee gave up 7 runs on opening day this year against the Texas Rangers, and a 7 earned run game against the White Sox back in June. But for the first time as a Philly, he's given up this many runs, and the Brewers are threatening for more. Sergio Escalona is loosening for the Phils. Mike Rivera with 7 career infield hits. Had one last year, last April against the Giants of 08. Remember that for the next time around.
Okay. That's not bad.
Rivera has 2 hits against Lee tonight, and a single to center field, and that infield hit in the 4th. Parra would be next. Still going strong. No activity in the bullpen. Count goes full to Rivera as Lee continues to pound the Brewers catcher inside. Milwaukee would like to send the knockout punch here. Get Lee out of the game, get into the Philly bullpen. Rivera pops it foul.
Yeah, Phillies can jump on you for 5 runs in a hurry. You saw that in last night's ball game. A 6-run inning last night. You can't have too many runs against this group.
So Lee has had his struggles here lately for Charlie Manuel. Had back-to-back games where he gave up 6 earned runs. One to the Braves, the other to the Astros. That game against Atlanta we were talking about, they belted 3 home runs. Allowed 4 earned runs against the Washington Nationals. It was a 3-game stretch there where Cliff Lee gave up 16 earned runs in just 15 innings. At the end of August and his first start of September. Escobar takes off. That one's well hit to left. Francisco near the wall will run it down for the out. Rivera comes up just a little short. And here comes Manny. And our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Manny's work on the mound here tonight has 8 strikeouts. 5 of the 8 strikeouts have been called strike threes. Gave up 2 runs in the 4th inning, but there was an error in that inning, so just 1 of them earned. And has only surrendered 2 hits, both singles.
And he's had good command of all of his off-speed pitches, but everything's set up because of good command of the fastball, and that was the big question tonight coming in. You knew he was going to feel strong, but was he going to be able to throw quality strikes? Was he going to have a good feel for where his pitches were going? Answer is yes.
Sitting on a season high for strikeouts, Parra. A bunt, it's down. Lee's going to second base, and they've got the out there. Escobar had to hold his ground. Tough spot for a base runner to be in. Not sure if it was going to be caught on the fly or not. So Parra unable to bunt Escobar to second. 2 outs in the inning now.
Yeah, the barrel of the bat drops, and it's popped up. Escobar caught in no man's land, and Cliff Lee right away going to second base. Paul Hoover, the catcher, telling him to throw to second. They had Escobar easily.
Parra at first, top of the order coming up. Here's Lopez. And Lee continues to work inside. Strike one. Oh, 2 to Lopez. Lee, one of the winningest pitchers, active pitchers in the major leagues.
And he does it without overpowering stuff. His fastball's been up as high as about 92 today. Sticks around 90 to 91, but with pretty good command. All the damage here tonight, still has not walked about it.
Bounces one. Good play back there from Hoover. Lee was 22-3 last year. 2.54 ERA. The runaway Cy Young Award winner of the American League. Had 4 complete games and 2 shutouts. He has 6 complete games this year. And only 6 other active pitchers have a better winning percentage than Cliff Lee. As he strikes out Felipe Lopez. Side retired. The Brewers fail to score in the 6th, but they lead Cliff Lee and the Phillies 7-2 as we go to the 7th inning. And by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Tundra Territory at Miller Park. Miller Lite, what's on tap? The Brewers and the Phillies back at it tomorrow. 6 o'clock is airtime. Fox Sports Wisconsin will have that for you. And then a matinee on Sunday. The Brewers are off Monday, headed to Colorado to start the first of a 3-game series and the first of a 6-game road trip that will finish the season. Brewers have 2 more games at home remaining after tonight. 7-2 Milwaukee. Manny Parra trying to pick up his 11th win of the season, facing Jason Worth, whom he has struck out twice already. Parra has gone through 6 innings, just 2 runs, 1 earned. This is pitch number 80 on the way. Parra has issued just 1 walk tonight. Walked Victorino back in the 4th. Victorino would come around to score. And David Weathers begins to get loose. Jason Worth's had a big year this year. Breakout season for Worth.
And a chance to drive in 100 runs. 92 RBIs for the Philly right fielder.
Into right, slicing away from Hart. He's got a long way to go. The wall to deal with. He's got it for the out. Would have been a fair ball. Worth retired. Fan appreciation night tomorrow. Approximately 50 prizes will be provided to fans in attendance throughout the ball game, each half inning. Prizes will include a variety of Brewers autographed items, some certificates, and the grand prize, a Chevy Malibu car. Also receive a 2010 Brewers magnetic schedule all weekend long. Fan appreciation day tomorrow. Escobar gobbles one up and retires Francisco, and Parra with 2 quick outs in the 7th.
83 pitches so far, 84 now for Manny Parra. 2 outs in the 7th inning. 3 million plus fans once again here at Miller Park for the 2nd consecutive year.
Quite a story. Baseball crazed city, Milwaukee. And hoping they have a playoff contending team next year. Certainly had some memorable moments this season, especially here at Miller Park. And as it rains outside, the roof is closed and high and dry indoors.
All is good in the world, right?
One of the most unique architectural designs in all of sports. The fan roof.
Should be mandatory in baseball.
Couldn't agree more.
That's why it's so frustrating going on the road and getting these rain delays. Come on now, get with the times. Go to the hip, put a roof on the place. Let's go.
That $1 billion stadium in New York doesn't even have a roof. The line drive base hit for Feliz. Yeah, but it takes away from the authenticity of the game. But you know what? You're going to see a game no matter what.
Right. That looked like a changeup that stayed up and out over the plate. Feliz able to hit it right back through the middle. You still got the grass. No synthetic field.
Absolutely. I mean,
open her up when you can, and you close her up when you have to.
If we're going to go old school, we might as well take down the outfield wall.
Take the lights out.
Put the horse and the buggies out there.
Play all day games.
Put the catcher back behind the screen. Call him a hind catcher. It's a base hit by Hoover. He's got 2 hits tonight. Sonny.
Not taking it to the opposite field. Manny Parra continues to throw strikes. And just out of the reach of Lopez and into right field. So a 2-out rally for the Phillies. And that'll be the end of the night for Cliff Lee.
And Lee out after 6 innings, 7 runs all earned on 9 hits. And a legacy coming to the plate. Son of former big leaguer John Mayberry. Here's John Mayberry Jr.
Man, Senior was a big left-handed hitter. Junior not a small fellow in his own right.
Brad Lidge in the bullpen. Here comes Bosio. Just a quick scouting report perhaps for Mayberry. Quick trip to the mound from Bosio. His first trip to the mound, and we're in the 7th inning.
This will probably be the last inning for Manny Parr. He's got that pitch count up to 89 right now. Tremendous effort, but he's got to finish this 7th inning out.
Now 2 outs, and then back-to-back hits. Feliz and Hoover. And the 6'6" John Mayberry Jr. will step in. Spent most of the year in AAA Lehigh Valley, AAA for the Phillies. In his first year in the Phillies organization. Came up with Texas. His 38th game in the big leagues. A 200 hitter, just 11 hits and 55 at-bats. His dad was 6'3". Junior is 6'6".
Had some pretty good numbers down in the minor leagues in 06 in Clinton, Iowa. 21 home runs, 77 RBIs. He's got some pop in that bat.
And his dad certainly had some pop in his bat.
And his dad could pick it at first base.
John Mayberry, an all-star, multiple all-stars. Junior pops it foul. Looks like it's going to stay playable. Rivera, a basket catch over there. Inning over. Mike Rivera dealing with the on-deck hitter and all that goes with him. And he makes the play for the final out.
Into the 7th inning and riding the arm of Manny Parr along the way, Davey. Just completed his 7th inning, 92 pitches, 8 strikeouts, just 4 hits allowed.
Well, you know, Manny is right on top of his game, Craig. He is really spotting his fastball. Great command of his fastball. He's been pitching in and out, been ahead in the count, and he's been able to throw his breaking ball and split.
What surprised you going 17 days between starts for this guy?
I didn't expect him to go 7 innings. I really didn't. I thought he would go maybe 5, but boy, with his command, And I tell you what's happened, he's been able to pitch ahead in the count and get early outs, and that's really helped.
Everything going well for him as well here tonight because he pitched with an early lead. So Manny Parr, he'll be a big story in our Brewers Live postgame. So will Jerry Augustine. He'll weigh in on his performance and join us for our on-field instructional, how a pitcher adjusts to the comebacker. So we're looking forward to that coming up after the ballgame on Brewers Live. Brian and Bill.
All right, Craig, Davey, thanks a lot. Looking forward to that. We saw that handshake from Chris Bosio. That's a pretty good indication that Manny is finished for the night. What a performance tonight. One of his best of the season as he ties a season high for strikeouts. And now all eyes in that Philadelphia market anyway on Brad Lidge.
Yeah,
this appearance has as much to do with what is going to happen down the road than anything else.
Look at that earned run average, 7.48. 31 saves, but 11 blown saves, 59 strikeouts, and 55 in the third innings. Look at the walk totals. 34 walks in those 55 in the third innings. It's been a rough ride for Brad Lidge this year.
Well, Lidge has blown 11 saves, the most in the majors. And the Phillies are desperate for Lidge to find whatever he lost and get back to form. He did not blow a save the entire season last season.
And he's got nasty stuff. I mean, you talk about a fastball upper 90s with an electric slider. Just can't find it.
Well, if you count his final few saves in Houston in 07, and then his 44 saves last year, and then the postseason, 54 consecutive saves for Brad Lidge. Corey Hart bangs one into left, a base hit.
Hey, you get behind in the count, and you got to throw a fastball that's very hittable, and hitters all of a sudden become, able to get the bat head out on that fastball. That one had 93 miles an hour. That velocity down for Lidge. He's usually about 4 miles an hour better than that. But when hitters have the count in their favor, I don't care how hard you're throwing it, they're going to be able to get the bat head out on it. And Lidge's inability to throw that slider for a strike has cost him dearly this year.
Here's Ryan Braun with Hart at first. And that one is sent deep to left field. Back is Francisco near the wall. He's got it for the out. Braun just missed it. And the first out of the inning.
And a couple of near misses. Mike Rivera nearly hit one out back in the 6th inning, and Ryan Braun just a little bit down on the end. He knew it right away. He knew he didn't get it. Home run hitters can tell, and got under it just a little bit.
Prince Fielder with one away. Fielder having a big night tonight. 2 hits, 4 runs batted in. 3 of those coming with one swing of the bat in the 5th inning. A 3-run home run against Cliff Lee. And it gave the Brewers a 7-2 lead. A 5-run lead they continue to enjoy here in the 7th inning. In on the handle. And out number 2. That had to hurt.
Yeah, Lidge spotted that fastball pretty well. Hoover set up on the inside corner, maybe a little bit in, and Lidge put it right there.
Lidge with 41 saves a year ago in the regular season, and had 7 postseason saves. Saved 2 of the 3 wins for the Phillies against the Brewers in round 1 in the division series. Hart takes off. Throw to second is late. Stolen base for Corey Hart. And a runner in scoring position for McGee.
Man, closer's ordinarily easy to run on. That high leg kick, not much of a chance for Hoover. Not even sure why he even threw it. That wasn't even close. Good jump by Corey.
Stolen base number 10 for Hart. 7-2, the Brewers lead the Phillies. And a chance to add to it with 2 outs. There's been a lot of talk about Lidge and his slider. Doesn't have quite the effectiveness that it had last year, but you know, like any pitcher, and even Manny Parra talked about it. You pitch off the fastball, so when you're not commanding your fastball, the slider is a pitch the hitter is not interested in and doesn't have to chase.
I mean, there's that nasty slider. Casey couldn't hold up. He's got a good one, but you're right. I mean, if you're not able to locate the fastball where you want, normally on the corners, in and out, you get behind in the count, and all of a sudden hitters aren't going to give that breaking pitch a second look. Hitters have to respect the off-speed stuff and the slider from Lidge when they're down in the count.
McGee with a base hit. Hart around third. He's going to try to score. The throw from Victorino cut off. Hart scores as McGee drives in his 64th run of the year, and the Brewers have an 8-2 lead.
That throw just a little bit off the mark. Victorino is standing in center field wondering why Ryan Howard cut it off. It was on the first base side of the mound, but it was tailing, and you wonder why Howard cut it off. Why not let it go? Because Casey wouldn't have been able to get to second base anyway. Fastball down the middle, up in the zone. That's where Casey likes it. And check it out. It would have been close, but Ryan Howard cut it.
8-2. McGee, an RBI single, and here's Cameron. More trouble for Brad Lidge. Mike Cameron at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Had a key hit early tonight, setting the table for the Brewers offensively. Hit a 3-run homer off Cliff Lee in the first inning. Cameron with 22 home runs now, 67 driven in.
You know, for me, it's just not location for Lidge. He's not throwing very hard. 92, 93 miles an hour. That's an average fastball these days. This guy used to be up around 98 miles an hour.
Certainly saw that big velocity last year. Charlie Manuel wondering what to do. Of the 4 teams that are in the playoff position right now, the Phillies, the Cardinals, the Rockies, and the Dodgers. Certainly the Phillies bullpen, the back end of their bullpen especially, is the most unsettled. Such a key position in postseason play, especially in National League Series. You need a bullpen to finish it out.
Now you're playing for 1 run a lot. I mean, low scoring games typically, and starters aren't able to go deep in games because they have to be pinch hit for it. That's why the emphasis is placed so much on the bullpen.
Now Lidge throws Cameron a good slider, and he strikes him out. The inning is over, but the Brewers strike for 1 more. 8-2 Milwaukee as we head to the 8th inning.
Right, does it have enough? Worth is back at the wall. This one is going to fly out of here. Prince Fielder, a 3-run home run.
Well, a lot of fun here at the ballpark tonight. Prince Fielder with number 42 on the season. RBIs 136. And counting for Prince as David Weathers takes over here in the 8th. Good outing by Manny Parra. Giving up only 2 runs against the very powerful Philadelphia Phillies offense. And Stormy Weathers with a 349 earned run average in his 65th game here tonight. He pitched a couple of nights ago in the Brewers' win over the Cubs.
Weathers will face the top of the Phillies order, and there's a base hit. Greeted rudely right away as Rollins sneaks one under the glove of Prince Fielder.
Actually, it's home run number 43. I said 42.
How dare you?
Yeah, sorry.
Mark and Madison in our Ho Chunk Gaming text question tonight. Why is a high fastball harder to hit than a lower one?
Well, you got to get the bat started a lot earlier to get the high fastball. You know, low fastball, you just drop the head of the bat on it. Bat doesn't have nearly as far to go to get after a low fastball. That high fastball, you have to cheat to be able to get to it. And because of that, when you have to start the bat a little bit sooner, tendency is you're going to swing at a pitch out of the strike zone. And you become very susceptible or very vulnerable to the breaking pitch.
Victorino pops it up. Easy play for Braun. And one going here in the 8th.
And typically right-handed batters are better on the high fastball than left. And it's all about the dominant hand. If you're a right-handed thrower, you know, and your right hand is your top hand, you're a better high ball hitter than you would be if you're a left-handed dominant. Left-hand dominant players are more low ball hitters because that dominant hand is leading the bat through the zone.
But then there are variations of hitters. For example, Chase Utley, the man at the plate now, he hits the high fastball with a short, compact swing. The high fastball for him is right in his wheelhouse, in his swing arc.
No, those things are you know, generalizations. I mean, if you take a broad stroke, I mean, you can't really be specific to every hitter. Everybody's different, but in general, that's the way it goes.
You can just see by Utley's practice swings how compact his swing is, and that's why he's able to handle the high fastball. Then you take a guy like Felipe Lopez as a left-handed hitter. He struggles with the fastball up above the belt, but hammers anything below the belt.
Not too many good high fastball hitters anymore. They're really not. Pitchers don't throw up there by design anyway. And the reason why you can get after a high fastball when you're ahead in the count as a hitter.
Fielder, nice pickup. Now he's got, Fielder. The wheels were turning. Weathers was there for him. Fielder thought he could take it himself. Instead, Utley beats it.
Be a hit.
And that'll be an infield single.
Not sure why Prince didn't throw the baseball. And you can see Chase Utley. You love to see the hustle by Utley. A routine ground ball to first. He's busting it down the line and able to beat it for the base hit.
Fielder didn't have the handle. That's why he didn't throw the ball. And now Weathers will be lifted with Ryan Howard coming up. Ken Maka is going to make a call to the bullpen. So Weathers is out, and the left-hander Mitch Stetter is coming in to face Howard. We'll take a timeout. Stay with us. Fielder setting franchise marks in RBIs and walks. Has the lead right now. Still time. We'll wrap it up on Sunday. 2 on, 1 away. Stetter in to face Howard.
That's time to put an end to this inning. Let's go.
Should be 2 outs and a runner at first. At least 2 outs and a runner at second. Fielder a little misplayed over there. And now Howard sends one to right. That's going to fall. A base hit. In to score is Jimmy Rollins. And Ryan Howard has his 3rd RBI of the game.
Well, now there's probably going to be another pitching change. And nothing but right-handers coming up. And we'll see what Ben Maka decides to do. Todd Coffey getting loose down in the Brewers bullpen. Fastball out over the plate. He missed with the slider the first pitch. Gave Howard a fastball. He got it off the end of the bat, but still strong enough to muscle it into right field. Ryan Howard with a couple of base hits against a left-handed pitcher tonight. And he hasn't had too many of those this year.
Well, Howard drove in 2 runs with a single in the 4th inning off Parra. Todd Coffey taking his hat off to tell his manager he's ready. It's a universal sign from the bullpen that the pitcher's ready to go. Although I haven't seen too many pitchers do that. I've seen bullpen coaches tip the hat. And Maka will make the move. So Stetter faces 1 batter, gives up a hit and an RBI. That run belongs to Weathers. Here comes Coffey now. Another timeout. Well, he has turned into a cult classic here in Milwaukee. Todd Coffey sprinting in from the bullpen. And Coffey inherits a mess here. 2 on with just 1 out. Dangerous hitter coming up, Jason Worth. 73rd appearance this year for Todd Coffey.
Yeah, looking for a ground ball to get out of this inning. Jason Worth, pretty good low ball hitter, though. 73rd appearance for Todd. Last pitch against the Cubs in that Brewers 3-2 win here at Miller Park against the Cubs.
Well, 1st and 3rd, Maka going with Stetter to face Howard. Howard delivers with an RBI hit. And now Coffey to face Jason Worth, who has 92 RBIs this year. He and Ryan Howard, as far as the tandem goes, 2nd in baseball in RBIs, 2nd only to Fielder and Braun this season. Worth, a fast runner, but he has grounded into 10 double plays this year.
That's a good fastball strike from Coffey.
And you get down toward the bottom of this order, you wonder if Charlie Manuel's going to go to some of his left-handed bench players. He's got a bunch of them, and some pretty good ones. Raul Ibanez, Matt Stairs, Greg Dobbs, all pretty good coming off the bench, and left-handed hitters. Brewers now out of lefties, out of the bullpen. Stetter's the only one.
Philadelphia with a magic number of 4 to clinch a division title. Brewers trying to keep it that way. Phillies lead the Braves in the East by 7 games. Atlanta won tonight. Javier Vasquez pitched another gem. His 15th win of the year. 4-1 victory for Atlanta in Washington. Braves are making a serious run at the Rockies in the wild card, as Worth just gets a piece of one. Atlanta has won 4 straight, 9 of their last 11, and 3 games back of the Colorado Rockies in the wild card race. If Colorado loses tonight, they're hosting the Cardinals. It'll be a 2.5 game spread between the Rockies and the Braves.
That's going to be fun when the Brewers win to Colorado. A lot on the line in that series.
Colorado has 3 with the Cardinals, 3 with the Brewers, and then they finish the season with the Dodgers. Now, their schedule is not easy. Meanwhile, Atlanta wrapping up the first of 7 against Washington the rest of the season. Not taking anything away from Washington?
No.
But who would you rather face? And oh, by the way, the Rockies are going to get Wainwright and Carpenter in the first 2 games of that series. Escalona was warming up as early as the 4th inning tonight. 2-2 to Worth. Little bouncer. McGee goes to second, and they get the out. Another run scores. Utley scores the 4th Philly run. 8-4 Milwaukee. RBI ground out for Jason Worth.
Now, Todd Coffey did a nice job keeping the ball down. Got ahead of Worth. 0-2. He got the fastball. Then he threw him the slider. Perfectly located on the outside corner. Then he tried to get him to chase. A fastball away. A slider that he able to get a bat on. And another good pitch after the ball in the dirt to get him on the slow roller. Everything down in the strike zone. That's what you want to do to get that ground ball.
Here is Raul Ibanez. He's been out of the starting lineup the last couple of days with an illness. And a monster first half did Ibanez. Hit .309 in the first half, 22 home runs before the All-Star break, and 60 RBIs. It's been a good year overall, but much less production in half number 2. Ibanez nursing some hamstring injuries earlier this year.
Yeah, but a nice option coming off the bench late in the ball game. Not a bad hitter to throw up there.
See his second half numbers: 11 homers, 29 RBIs. He's one of 5 Phillies with 20 or more home runs this season. Phillies have 4 in their lineup on a regular basis that have hit 30 this year. Utley, Howard, Worth, and Ibanez. And doing all of this at 37 years of age. He must feel like he's playing on a wiffle ball field coming from Safeco Park in Seattle to Citizens Bank.
What a difference.
Little bouncer out to Lopez. And Coffey will get through the inning. 2-run score, but the Brewers still enjoying an 8-4 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Prince added to it, a 3-run shot in the 5th inning. Fielded with 4 RBIs, 2 for 4 at the plate. The Brewers hang 7 earned runs on Cliff Lee. Manny Parra was outstanding tonight, one of his best of the year. 7 innings, 2 runs, 1 earned, and he tied a season high with 8 strikeouts. Bullpen surrendering a couple of runs in the 8th, and it's an 8-4 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Brewers have 11 hits. There's Mark Atanasio, Brewers owner, in town for the final home series of the year.
Yeah, we're going to have a chat with Mark, and during tomorrow's ball game, talk about some off-field activities and talk a little baseball with the Brewers owner.
Sergio Escalona is the new Philly hurler, and Ibanez will stay in the game and play left field.
Yeah, 12 pitchers down in that bullpen for the Philadelphia Phillies, so they are equipped to play all night. 4 left-handers, including Wisconsin's own Jack Tashner. He's with Philadelphia. University of Wisconsin Oshkosh graduate.
Looks like Vargas will have the 9th inning. It's not a save situation, so no Trevor Hoffman. If it gets into a save situation, you can bet Hoffman will get up.
Couple of men on. Get 2 men on, and it will be a save opportunity. I hope that doesn't happen.
I don't know, Rock, at this point of the year, I mean, what's one more hell's bells?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No. Clean, nice clean 9th inning. Come on. Let's not get greedy. You're getting greedy 2 nights in a row.
Escobar strikes out. I mean, for the fans.
You need that tension?
For the fans.
Need a win is what we need. I see what you're saying.
You're with me.
I'm not in the camp.
You're just not publicly with me. I think those 2 sausages have had enough tonight. Not like the real deal. The real sausages, they hang in there all night long. Escalona facing Mike Rivera, 2 for 3 tonight. Mike Rivera had an infield hit in this game. Jason Bourgeois will hit next. His 7th career infield hit.
You should add that to that text to vote question. Most impressive, feat.
Yeah.
Home runs, the
100 home
Prince
runs,
fielder.
3 years.
This season.
RBI walk record, franchise record.
And Mike Rivera's 7 infield hits.
You could make that the Z text. Rivera unable to check his swing. And it's back-to-back strikeouts for Escalona.
Yep, he went. And I think he knew it.
Some of the best seats in the house out there in Toyota Tundra territory. Bourgeois with 2 outs. Little cue shot. Ryan Howard backing up. That's over his head. Bourgeois. A cue single to right. Take him any way you can get him.
Yeah, a little breaking ball, change up off the outside corner, and Bourgeois cues it over Ryan Howard's head. Looked like a line drive in the box score tomorrow.
Here's Lopez again, back to the top of the order. Lopez batting for the 5th time. He doubled and scored a run in his first at bat, but since he has struck out 3 times. Lopez hitting .310 after his 1-for-4 night tonight. Among league leaders, Brian Braun and Felipe Lopez just inside the top 10 to start the day. Lopez 9th, Braun 8th. Braun has a hit tonight as well.
Not often he gets 5 at-bats in one day against a left-handed pitcher. All 5 of his at-bats have come as a right-handed hitter.
That's a good point. Bourgeois picked off, but he's going to take second base. Bourgeois running on first movement. And the speedster makes it, putting a Brewer in scoring position for Lopez.
Man, that's what base stealers do. I mean, they will decide that they're going to run no matter what on the first move, and it's going to take 2 good throws to get him. Wouldn't have had him even if Rollins kept the ball in his glove. Good speed.
Second stolen base of the game for Milwaukee. A team that does not run very often. Now Lopez a chance to add to the Brewers' lead. By the way, Rock, we want to send out our best happy anniversary wishes tonight. Steve and Diane Lazat celebrating their 28th anniversary.
Nice. Got their son up here in the booth. He's RD2.
Not R2D2, but RD2.
Research and Development 2.
Dave Lazat. Lopez draws the walk. And 2 on with 2 outs. So the chef celebrating an anniversary. We wish him the best.
Anniversary today, and Steve is going to his high school reunion tomorrow. Can't get much better than that.
Sounds like a ball.
Sounds like a good time. Back-to-back nights. Look out.
That one gets by Hoover, and the runners will advance. Second and third now for the Brewers. And a chance for Hart to pick up a couple here.
Maybe a cross-up. Hoover looked surprised that that ball was a fastball because just couldn't get the glove up. He was expecting a breaking pitch, and tough to make that adjustment when you're looking for something off speed to get the fastball. You've got to be lucky to be able to catch it. You don't have much time to react.
And Hoover fortunate to have a very skilled, knowledgeable official scorer tonight in Tim O'Driscoll. A lot of official scorers call that a pass ball. Well, that's a wild pitch on this official scorer's card, which it should be.
Right. Very rarely do you really see a pass ball. In this booth, anyway.
Well, the general rule is if it hits the glove first, it's a pass ball. If it hits the dirt or the screen, it's a wild pitch. But that one was clearly a cross-up. Now, the cross-up could have been the fault of the catcher. Who knows?
Yeah, catchers have crossed themselves up. I've done that.
You just kind of forget what you put down, right?
It's like a center in football forgetting the snap count.
The center is never wrong. Because when he snaps it, it happens. That's when it all happens.
But the problem exists when he doesn't snap it and everybody else is waiting for him to do that.
Not his problem. 2-2 to Hart with 2 outs. Second and third for the Brewers. And that one is in there for a strike. Hart is gone, and we are headed to the ninth. Last call for the Phillies. 8-4 Brewers. Here comes Vargas. Roof is closed on a rainy night in Milwaukee, and the Brewers 3 outs away from securing win number 76 of the year. That would get them back to 2 games under 500, and it would keep the Phillies from whittling down their magic number. The Braves have already won tonight. Philadelphia's magic number is still 4, and Vargas trying to keep it that way. Vargas will face the bottom of the order. First man up, pinch hitter Greg Dobbs. Still hit for Feliz. A 4-run lead. Trevor Hoffman lightly tossing in the bullpen just in case a couple of runners get on. Tying run has to move into the on-deck circle for Trevor to enter this game. Dobbs with a base hit. And the Phillies right back at it. Dobbs, one of the best pinch hitters in all of baseball last year. Had the most pinch hits in the National League.
Man, did a nice job going right with that one. The fastball was a little bit off the plate, but up in the zone, and Dobbs dumps it into center field. Say, Claudio Vargas has been tremendous since joining the Brewers. 24 appearances with the Brewers and a 2.05 ERA. Another pinch hitter for the Phillies, and Chris Bosio wants to have a chat with his right-hander.
Andy Tracy will come off the bench to hit for Charlie Manuel. Tracy, big home run hitter in AAA this year for the Phillies. Finished second in the International League at Lehigh Valley in home runs and RBIs this season.
And another pretty good pinch hitter on deck.
At 26 homers and 96 driven in 129 games in AAA. There's a strike. 0-2 on Tracy.
If you're going to beat Claudio Vargas, you're going to have to take the ball back through the middle into the opposite field. Very rarely is he going to come inside for a strike. Loves to work on the outside corner.
Rivera sets up out there. Vargas hits the spot. Tracy doesn't chase. 1-2. Good idea. Tracy had a little big league time last year with the Phillies. Brewers lead by 4 in the 9th. 2-2. Vargas looking for a ground ball here. Vargas will see 3 pinch hitters in this inning to start. Matt Stairs is in the on-deck circle.
Pretty good pitch they hit for Tracy that time. Fastball right down the middle, about belt high.
Vargas ready to reload. Another 2-2 with Dobbs at first. And Tracy sends one to the gap. Braun able to cut it off. Dobbs on his way to third. And all of a sudden the Phillies with 2 on to start the inning, and it becomes a save situation now, and we'll see what Ken Maka does.
Yeah, you got to go to him. You get him up. It's a save situation. No messing around. Good piece of hitting once again. A couple of left-handers taking the ball up the middle into the opposite field on fastballs away. And the Phillies right back at it.
So here comes Hoffman. Maka will take the ball from Vargas. Gives up 2 hits. Tying run is on deck. And the all-time saves leader is coming in. Nobody out for Philadelphia. And Trevor Hoffman is on the pitch. Hoffman picked up a save here at Miller Park on Wednesday against the Cubs. That was his 35th of the year. And career save number 589. He's appearing for the 51st time at 41 years of age. He's had an all-star season and has 3 outs to get here in this 9th inning.
Yep, tying run in the on-deck circle. He's got a tough customer in Matt Stairs, and then the top of the Philly order.
Stairs leads baseball in pinch hit home runs this year. He has 5 of them, 15 RBIs as well. Also the major league leader.
And Matt Stairs, a very good changeup hitter, if you believe that. He stays back very well in the changeup, and he can hit them for power. So Trevor's got to keep that changeup down in the strike zone.
It was Stairs who broke up Dave Bush's no-hitter bid back in April in Philadelphia on a pinch hit home run. One of only 2 hits allowed by Bush that day. Trevor's falling behind him 2-0. First and third with nobody out. Vargas comes on, gives up 2 hits. Now Hoffman trying to save it for Manny Parra. Stairs took a mighty hack.
That 2-0 fastball, he chased one out of the zone. And Matt Stairs, he's not going to get cheated up there. Wow. 86 miles an hour right by him, middle in.
Letting out the shaft.
Man, that ball right down the middle, one middle in.
Hoffman's been very good against the National League East last couple of years. Hoping the trend continues. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Stairs. And he popped him up. Escobar is back. That ball's in the air forever. Escobar right to the spot. And it's out number 1. And a big out for Trevor Hoffman. Neither runner can advance. And And one gone as the top of the order is coming up.
That fell behind 2-0 and threw him 3 consecutive fastballs, and Matt Stairs not able to get the barrel on any of them.
As crazy as it sounds, Hoffman is almost in a better position to get you out when he's behind in the count sometimes. Hitters up, gearing up, and he just takes more and more off as Rollins takes a ball. Jimmy Rollins has been on base twice in this game. He scored 2 runs. 1 for 3 at the plate, and a 3-run homer here yesterday. Rollins homered in Game 4 of the NLDS last year at Miller Park, so he's homered in his last 2 games in Milwaukee. Tough man to double up. Another pop-up. Rollins with that big swing. Foul territory. Rivera makes the play. 2 gone.
Another fastball, 2-0. I don't think Trevor's thrown a changeup yet. Been all fastball.
I'm sure Phillies fans wondering how good Trevor Hoffman would look in a Philadelphia Phillies uniform right about now.
Yeah, a little bit behind the fastball, and he popped it up.
Phillies down to their last out. Tying run still in the on-deck circle. Hoffman gets ahead of Victorino. Two and one. Missed with a fastball.
Victorino, a very good eye up there at the plate. That one a little bit off the outside corner. Victorino trying to do whatever he can to bring that tying run to home plate.
Now plenty of power coming up as well. This is a key hitter for Hoffman, even with a 4-run lead. A strike. 2-2. On the change up, Victorino able to get a piece, foul it away.
First one of the inning. First strike to Victorino. I think it was one of those sliders that Trevor tries to throw once in a while. Doesn't very often do it to a lefty. But that last pitch, the first change up of the inning.
Again, 2-2 the count. Phillies down to their last strike. Hoffman making a bid at save number 36. Yanks another one foul. A fastball that time. Count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's fun to think along with Trevor Hoffman and wonder what he might throw. It's dangerous as a hitter to do that. He's usually one step ahead of you.
Yeah, a lot of times you're wrong when you guess.
Got him set up for the changeup. And a little
little bouncer out to Lopez. That's the ball game. The Brewers beat the Phillies. Trevor Hoffman continues his all-star season. 36th save of the year. Fielder with 4 runs batted in. On a single and a home run. An 8-4 win. Manny Parra, his 11th win, one of his best games of the season. The Brewers beat Cliff Lee and the Phillies tonight. Brewers Live coming up right after this.